Hello, welcome back to Flourish by the Fort. My name is Layla and I am trying to record the intro to this video around neighbours drilling, my dog sniffling and birds shouting at me. So please bear with me. We've got an update today, a lot's happened. It's been a while since we've done any videos. Weather has not been on our side. It's either been grey and miserable or there's been nothing to do up at the allotment, or we had storms. We had 3 in a row over a long weekend. Thankfully we didn't sustain a lot of damage. Our chicken roof had a bit of damage and most of the panels came out of my greenhouse, but we were able to put them back in. We've also had some things done to our home. We've had house insulation put in and solar panels added to create our own electricity. And up at the allotment we finally had some developments, which is a relief because it felt like it was going nowhere. After about 3 months, finally we have managed to get the allotment ploughed. It was a bit of a surprise. We were expecting it in a couple of weeks' time and we hoped to film it, but he basically sent us a message saying that it had already been done. So we have spent some time up there finishing up the ploughed areas that he couldn't access, tidying it up. We had, the earth had all gone over the paths and stuff like that. We've made a couple of steps here and there. It's just really remedial work. Now that the plot is ploughed, we're going to wait for it to dry a bit. And then we're going to remove all the couch grass or any brambles that we see. I say all the couch grass, the worst areas. And then going forward, we're waiting for the guy to then come and he will till it, so we'll make it into like a really fine texture. It'll be fine enough for us to plant things in it directly, basically. And he'll make it into kind of rows. It will probably not be the rows that I necessarily want because I have like a plan set out, but we'll see how that goes. At home, we've been sowing and sowing and sowing and sowing. I have so many seedlings. We are going to show you on this video some onions that have been started. I'm going to show you potting up some chillies that need to go on to the next size. I'm going to also show you some of our succulent collection. They have been watered for the first time. They don't get watered all over winter because they need to go dormant during the cold weather. The roots don't like moisture around it in cold weather, so we leave them dry. So they haven't had anything from October-ish. So you'll see that on the video today, and we've also taken some lovely drone footage because spring is in the air, even though it's a very dull day today. It has been beautiful for the last couple of weeks, so you'll get to see some spring in the surrounding area and some wildlife as well. I hope you enjoy the video today, and if you do, feel free to give it a thumbs up, comment down below what you like, and please follow us if you don't already. That will really help us to be seen by other people. Thank you. do some slightly different germinating now. These are Luffa seeds. Well, this is a Luffa seed. And I've got completely the wrong lens on to show you, I think. But this is not going to work. What we'll do is we'll insert a picture, I think. They have a pinched end and a round end. That's the pinched end and that's the round end. And they have very hard shells and they're very difficult to germinate. So what you want to do is get the round end, not the pinched end, and take off the very, very, very edge. And you pop it in some very clean water, using very clean water and kitchen roll and somewhere warm. They are from the cucumber family. I say very clean water and I've got very unclean hands. So if it goes mouldy, just change it. These guys are from the cucumber family. They need quite a bit of space to climb. I did put them outside last year and inside. My outside ones didn't do well, but that was because some sort of neighbourhood cat decided it'd be a good idea to knock down my bee hotels on top of the plants and crush them. You can soak them, but I just know this method works. I probably took too much off that one, we'll see. I don't need 10 plants. I don't expect they'll all germinate. These are self-harvested seeds from my own Luffa plants last year. Luffas make sponges. Sponges that some people think come from the sea, but that's a different kind of sponge. They do take quite long to mature, and I felt like my Luffas could have done with another 3 weeks at the end of summer. We had a very wet summer. And I ended up drying them inside, which is also fine, and you can dry them in the oven. However, if you do that, your seeds are no good, and I want to save the seeds. So what I'll do is I'll fold that, I'll put a clear lid, something like this, there's one for this, on top. Has got some air holes, it's not necessary. I will check them every day. As soon as I start seeing them sprout, I will pot them up into compost. They just need a bit longer, and they need to come out here when it's warm, so it'll probably not be until late April or May that they come out here, so they will be part of my windowsill tetris. Just thought I would give a little update on our Luffa seeds. 2 look like they haven't germinated, but I hadn't snipped them at the end. I did mention that in the video. I wasn't sure if I'd gone quite enough for those. I hadn't. I had forgotten about these guys for a couple of days, so they should have been in pots by now. Usually I would put them in a pot at this stage, okay, and you just pop them down like that. They'll find their way up if they don't, but it is interesting to see all the growth and the root network and what they look like. So I'm going to pop these ones into a pot. So what I'm going to do is try one-handed. Get this one, this poor plant. So you can see the ends there of the leaves are a little bit nipped. That's just from where I've been a bit too enthusiastic with nipping the seed. And I'm going to gently, excuse my camera work, I couldn't be bothered to take out the camera today and it's not been to my benefit or yours. There we go. I'm just going to gently do that. I'll farm it around and give it a water. I'm just probably going to put 1 or 2 per pot. Different stages over here with the other ones. This one has germinated, otherwise it wouldn't have been put in the pot. This one's almost up and these guys are coming up. You can see all the different stages. This one here still has the seed shell still on it, but I don't help that out, just leave it alone. And this one has yellow tips, as you can see. That's where I've just been a bit enthusiastic with snipping the seed. These are only the cotyledon leaves, which are the baby leaves, the seedling leaves, and they won't continue throughout the life of the plant. Once the plant grows its true leaves, these ones will die off and go yellow, which is completely normal. So if there's enough green there for chlorophyll for the plant to grow, so we don't worry about that one at all. Hello, today we're just going to do some potting up of some seedlings. These are some peppers and some chilli seedlings that I have sown on the 20th of February, but now they need a bit more space. So they're going to go into individual pots as long as they're a good size, and they'll live out here probably until they're planted, until their final position, I hope. I've got a pre-made mix already. It's just normal compost from a garden centre with some vermiculite, because I didn't find the compost was very good quality. It's not vermiculite at all, it's perlite. I've also got my pots, which I have just quickly checked over for snails and slugs. And I've got some cut up pieces of margarine boxes, tubs, because I like to use those. I like to reuse plastic that can't be properly recycled. And I have an Artline garden marker. Let's see if this will focus. Which are really good for not fading. Last year I had terrible problems. I used a Sharpie and it just faded all the time, so there's no use. I have got a stick. You can use whatever you want to dig them out. I tend to tip out the whole pot. I might reuse some of the soil, which some people think is a bit of a no-no, but it hasn't been very well used, and also they're going to be supplemented with feed as well. I don't feel like being on the camera today, so I'm hiding, so you can just see this. After I've done the chilies, I might do these guys. These are statice, which is a flower that's typically used for dry flowered. I'm probably going to put them into a module tray to grow on as plugs. These are my succulents. They live in the greenhouse most of the year, apart from a couple of crates of them which kind of get moved in and out depending on the temperatures, the special ones. They're just about to get their first proper water of the year. Most of them have not had a drink since October. There's all kinds of different succulents in here. Aeoniums, Echeveria, Pachyphyta. So one of them having a bath.